Studs and studettes, happy Friday. Coming to you from live balmy KC Mo. And today we're going to talk about a couple things. About that little voice in your head. About what your why is. And the power that your words can have to somebody else. It kind of associates with the power, that voice in your head. And then also knowing your why. So I'm going to kind of use analogies between the Chiefs and my own story. I talked about in the last episode how I had my problem, my first valley. I was fat as could be. I hated myself, had suicidal thoughts, just miserable. So mom and dad said, you lose 20 pounds, you can, we'll take it in the Zero U game. All right, man. So I'm dialed in. So that initial, just like anything you do, it's like a halftime speech or pregame speech or watching a pump up video. I mean, I do that stuff too, and it's good. But if you don't put in the work and if you're not mentally prepared, those little short bursts of motivation, it's not going to do anything for you. Man, I tell you what, there's a lot of people that say, oh, I'm going to go climb Mount Rushmore. When you're sitting on your couch, you're sitting with your boys like, oh, man, I can do it. That first time you start training, you got all that load on your back, and it's cold as hell outside, and you'd rather be doing a zillion different things, and you're in pain. You're going to find out if your why you're doing something, what is important to you to have the discipline to accomplish is worth it, is worth the actions. All right? So my why was losing weight. My folks knew, I didn't know at the time, but I found out later, it's to improve my self-esteem, control my depression, release the endorphins, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So anyway, so right at the time, like, yeah, I'm going to go watch the Tigers and OU, I can do this. Well, I promise you, that first time that I went out in 100-degree heat and I was fat as can be, and I'm it's like my brother, Brad, he knows who he is. He was with me every step of the way, and he'd come pick me up, and he'd follow me in his station wagon, and he just was always there to keep pushing me. But I'll tell you, those steps, it's hard. Before I started, I'm sitting with mom and dad, Zero U, yeah. And you get out there and you start doing the actual work and you are in pain, that's where it's important about what your why and if it's worth it. And I knew mine was worth it. So I dealt with that pain, and slowly but surely I started sharpening it up and becoming tougher in my mind, knowing that I was going to fall over dead before I was going to stop. I don't know if I ever said, like, when I would run, my fat was so big, like I would chafe. It looked like if I held up my arm, it looked like a shark jaws on there. All right, so I'm going to go from my story and my why to the Chiefs. Okay? Patrick Mahomes, Pat Legend, the greatest, the revenant. He is 44-12 as a starter. I might be off a game, but 44-12. Stop and think about that. He has never lost on the road in the division, 12-0. He has won a Super Bowl. He's been to 2. He's been to 3 straight AFC Championship games. He has the most touchdown passes through first 50 games of any player in the history of this glorious game, past Dan Marino. He has more passing yards than any other player in the game through more than any other player through 50 games. He passed Kurt Warner. Okay? So he's number one almost in everything. Okay? Through 3 quarters last night, he sucked. He was having a horrible game. I'm a fan too. I got upset. I mean, that's part of it. Go back and look at like social media, like on Facebook. I know I have a lot of friends that hate the Chiefs. And we laugh that it's about the Chiefs, but this is about the message. But just like when I was trying to lose weight and I was telling people I'm going to lose, people literally like, you know, what the fuck ever, that ain't happening. You know, there were people that didn't believe in me, but you have got to believe in yourself. And I had, besides Brad, I had other friends and my family that were right behind me the whole way pushing. God, you got this, P. You don't want that oatmeal creamy. You don't want to go to slam the Bigfoot pizza at the Hut. I mean, stay disciplined. So I would wake continuously to keep my eye on it. So back to Mahomes. I had zero success. None. Fat Pat the River Rat, nice tits Martin, people laughing at me. Mahomes has already been amazing and one of the greatest players that's ever lived already through 50 games. And you could see it on his face through 3 quarters. You could look at everybody on Twitter, everybody on Facebook, people laughing like, oh, it's a $500 million and nice throw. And yes, I cussed too. I'm not saying I didn't, but I still believed in him. And I know in his press conference, he said a couple times, it might have been after the interception, it might have been after the horrible 4th down throw to Hardman, but his teammate came up to him and said something to the effect of, show the heart, show all the work that you've had. His why, the Chiefs' why, is to win another Super Bowl. Okay? As badly as he had played through 3 quarters, it would have been so easy for him to quit. So easy, or not quit, but be like, this game's lost, I'll, live to fight another day. But he didn't. Now that voice in his head, just like I was talking about the voice in my head when I was running out there in the summer and I was sweating, I was miserable. Even the times that Brad or my brother or my friends weren't there with me, you have that voice in your head. What is your why? Is that going to keep you to wake up in the morning, to go work out, to study for the test, to apply for that job that you're nervous about? Is it strong enough to make you disciplined and make the right decision? Mahomes, absolutely strong enough. And then he had his teammate that was like, yo, you got this. Snapped him back just like that. In the last quarter, he was 10 for 13, 3 touchdowns, 193 yards, and they won. Because he believed in himself and his teammates believed in him. All right? So you've got to love yourself. You've got to believe in yourself. And nothing is over until that final zero is on the board or you quit. Kind of all over the place on that. But you got to find the why you want to do something. Because if you don't have a goal, if you don't have a why, you're gonna keep spinning in circles. But the power of words was another point I know before I started this video I wanted to get across. There's people, my closest friends know who they are, and during my lowest times, or even when I was Fat Pat the River Rat, it's amazing how when you're at your lowest and you're like, man, I don't know. I mean, you're like hanging on by that thread. And then somebody that you respect or care about or love says just the right words. And you're like, motherfucker, let's go. Yeah, let's do this, Kelsey was that for Patty Legend last night, and they won. And they're fixing to go get their 2nd ring. So anyway, that's my talk for tonight. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. Let's get this out so we can start helping people. That's the point of all this. Mahomes had failed for 3 quarters. His why is to win a championship. His why was to win that game. If you start, say, losing 20 pounds and you lose 6 and you're like, oh shit, it's a Christmas party, I ate like 15 Oreo-filled cookies or whatever. Let it go and then hop back up. Don't compound problems. Don't compound mistakes. All right? That's all. Love you. Smash the like and subscribe. Peace.